Hey everyone, happy 4th. I thought I'd do something short and light today for the holiday weekend. So here's a bit of US hidden or forgotten history. So I think most of us who aren't historians forget that in 1776, when the 56 members of the Continental Congress signed the Declaration of Independence, they were basically signing their own death warrants. At the time, Great Britain was the most powerful nation on earth, and the 13 American colonies were poor and totally disunited. The British Crown considered a Declaration of Independence an act of treason, which meant that all that signed would be punishable by death. At the time, no one expected us to win. Odds were hugely against us. So, because of this, because it was, so dangerous, the identities of the 56 members of the Continental Congress who had committed to separating from England and had signed were not made public. For the first 6 months following its signing, copies of the document displayed only two signatures, John Hancock and Charles Thomson, President and Secretary of the Continental Congress, and things definitely didn't look great in the first few months for the Continental Army fighting the War of Independence. But the tides, well, they definitely changed that December when Washington's army won the Battle of Trenton. And it was such a significant victory and so unexpected that that's when all 56 signatures were finally displayed. And then the first ever fireworks display for the 4th of July was held on July 4th, 1777, just 1 year after the US had gained its independence. Hooray! But the 4th wasn't declared a federal holiday for nearly another century. In 1870. Side note, the Philippines became an independent nation from the US on the 4th of July in 1946. And then, an eerie coincidence, on the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1826, both Thomas Jefferson, who was the third president, and John Adams, the second president, both died. Jefferson died first in Charlottesville at 90 years old, and then Adams died a few hours later in Quincy, Mass. He was 83. Adams' last words were reportedly, "Thomas Jefferson survives," not knowing that Jefferson had died just hours earlier. And then, in 1831, James Monroe, who was the fifth president, well, he died on the 4th of July in New York City. He was 73. So, pretty odd presidential coincidence, huh? But in 1872, Calvin Coolidge was born in Vermont and he became the 30th president. So, not only death on the 4th, but it's kind of crazy that 3 of the first 5 presidents and 3 of the founding fathers all died on the 4th of July. Anyhow, thought it was interesting. If you're going to watch fireworks tonight, have fun. If you're setting off fireworks for yourself or your loved ones, be safe. Happy 4th. This is Hidden Headlines. Thanks. Bye.